What's going on, guys? This is Matt Qualls from SportsMemo and Wager Talk, and we are back with day two of the Slate. I decided to call it the Slate because I break down both the NBA and the NFL, trying to do at least 3 breakdowns every single week for the NBA, and for the NFL, I do every single Thursday night football matchup and a complete Sunday slate breakdown on top of it. So if this is your first time seeing this video, follow me at MoneylineMatt8. I drop every single video that you see here over on my Twitter and the Detroit Sports Bettors YouTube. Okay. With that being said, though, let's go over yesterday real quick because we had a 2-game NBA slate with the Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns, and then the LA Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. We ended up going 1-1 in that slate. Austin Reeves landed on the hook at 14 points and missed 2 free throws at the end to blow it for us. So that kind of sucked, but we did hit the Denver Nuggets -5. That game kind of went exactly how I said, so I was very happy with that. And with that being said, we got 4 plays today. Follow at MoneylineMatt8. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Would greatly appreciate it because we're giving a ton of information all season long. All right, I'm on Sports Memo and Wager Talk, and then I'm also on X's and Bros Radio every single Friday at 8:17 a.m. with my boy Anthony Bellino. I give my favorite bets for some NFL games, break down the Detroit lines as well, and I think we're going to be increasing it now that the NBA is back. So again, with that being said, let's get right into it with the first play of the day, and it is going to be the Indiana Pacers -5 against the Washington Wizards, and here is why. For one, the best player on the court is going to be Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton is not only a great scorer, he's a great distributor of the basketball on top of that. And then I love that Bennedict Mathurin has been moved into that starting lineup. I think of anyone in that starting lineup, he's going to be getting the most shots. He's going to be the point scorer of that Indiana Pacers team. And I just like what he can do, how much energy he can bring to the court, his shooting ability, his slashing to the basket, his defensive capabilities, a little bit of everything. Then with that 3 position, the small forward, they added Bruce Brown, a great plug-and-play guy with a lot of momentum. He can hit down open shots. He's great on defense, rebounding, a little bit of everything. Then in addition to that, they also added Obi Toppin. If you've watched Obi Toppin with the New York Knicks, very streaky shooter from the outside. If you see him make a couple, that's a great sign. If you see him miss a couple, it's probably over. It's time to take that live under with Obi Toppin. But one thing that I like about him is his ability to throw down the basketball. He's a slasher to the basket. He can get alley-oop, stuff like that. So I think him and Halliburton are going to have a really nice combination. And then you look at this bench now. They have a true point guard in T.J. McConnell leading that second unit. Then they have Buddy Hield coming off that second unit as well now. Someone who can score the basketball, someone who's very streaky. If he gets it going from the three-point line, it's going to be a good look. Then they also have Jalen Smith, that backup center position. So they have some quality guys coming off of that bench, and they're going off against the Washington Wizards team, who's one of the worst defensively throughout the entire NBA. And I think they only got worse because now they don't have Bradley Beal or Kristaps Porzingis. Their 1 and 2 are Tyus Jones and Jordan Poole. They're not going to be able to stop anyone. Those are 2 of the worst defensive players throughout the entire NBA. And to me, this is just a team that doesn't look good. They're going to be in trouble. You know, Kyle Kuzma's running the 4. He's probably going to be one of the guys, him and Poole, taking the most shots. And then they got Daniel Gafford as well, who is going to be leading that center position now that Porzingis is gone. And then you take a look at this bench. This bench is just absolutely brutal, potentially the worst in the NBA. DeLon Wright leading that second unit. Then they got Denny Avdia. Denny Avdia, I'll give a little respect to. He can make a couple things happen. He's a nicer young player. But from there, then you got Danilo Gallinari and Mike Muscala. Like, this is like the 2016 players now on the Washington Wizards. So I don't think they're going to be able to keep up. Indiana runs one of the highest paces in all of basketball. They have great, loyal fans who are going to be filling that stadium on opening night for the Indiana Pacers. You know, it's Indiana, for God's sake. There's just not much going on there. So they're definitely going to be supporting that Pacers team. And again, just not a good Wizards team. I don't think Jordan Poole is a good piece for a team in terms of chemistry. So for me, give me Pacers -5. I really like the look at this pick. Moving on to the first player prop of the day, and it's a prop from the same exact game. And no, it's not Tyrese Halliburton, actually, but it's the guy that I said I love. It is Bennedict Mathurin. Really like the look of Bennedict Mathurin in this matchup. And a lot of it, too, is just because, like I talked about with that starting lineup, you know, Tyrese Halliburton, Bennedict, Bruce Brown, okay, Obi Toppin, and then Miles Turner. Who's going to get the most shots in that starting lineup? I personally think it's going to be Bennedict Mathurin. You know, Bennedict Mathurin is going to be matched up with either Tyus Jones or Jordan Poole, you know, and he's going to make easy work out of those 2. As a rookie, he was incredibly aggressive. He's one of those guys that just doesn't give a shit what anyone else thinks. If he's missing a bunch of shots, he's going to keep going. You know, I think he's going to have at least 15 shots in this matchup. And if you get around 15 shots, I really like your chances to go over 14.5. As a rookie. He faced this Wizards team 4 times. He went over this number 3 times coming off of the bench as well. So for me, I like it that much more now. It's opening night in Indiana, a team that likes to get out and run, and that's exactly what Bennedict Mathurin does. So for me, play number 2, Bennedict Mathurin over 14.5 points here. Moving on to a different game, we got the OKC Thunder going on the road to face off against the Chicago Bulls, and I got a favorite player prop in this matchup. It's not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it's not Luke Wentz-Dort, but it's actually the guy coming back from injury. It is going to be Chet Holmgren over 13.5 points here, and here is why. So for one, if you were watching Chet in the preseason, Chet had a very, very successful preseason. He had at least 1 3-pointer in every single game of the preseason. He hit this number in 3 out of 4 matchups while seeing limited minutes too, because again, it is preseason. And now he's going against the Chicago Bulls and Nikola Vucevic. So Vucevic, not the greatest defender in the world. He doesn't move very well horizontally, anything like that. So I think Chet is actually going to have a speed advantage. He's going to have a agility advantage, a little bit of everything. So I really do like the look of Chet against the Chicago Bulls. I think with him coming back from injury, they're really going to try and get him going early too with that 13.5 point number. I think he can, probably get closer to the 15, 16, 17, somewhere along those lines. I think this is just a little low, and because he's a rookie, this is one of those numbers that's going to climb as the season goes on. I think Chet has something to prove this season. Play number 3, Chet Holmgren over 13.5 points. Moving on to the last play of the day, and this is one of my favorite matchups all season long. It's great from a same game parlay perspective. A little bit of everything, because you love high totals, high pace matchups. That's exactly what the Sacramento Kings and the Utah Jazz are. Okay, so this player, though, again, going to surprise people a little bit, but it's going to be Kevin Huerter over 12.5 points here. And here's why. Kevin Huerter, actually, if there's any team in the history of Kevin Huerter going back to his Atlanta Hawks days all the way to the Sacramento Kings, if there's a team he loves to play, it's the Utah Jazz. He has faced the Utah Jazz 10 times in his career. He's hit this number 8 times, 8 of those 10. And in his last 4 games, he's hit it 4 straight, and he's hit it in every single matchup with the Sacramento Kings. So again, I think this is a great spot for Kevin Huerter. The Utah Jazz are one of those teams who they really like to kind of clog the middle, especially with Walker Kessler. So someone like Domantas Sabonis, I don't think he's going to get going as much in this spot. So where do they look? They look for the outside, guys like Kevin Huerter, guys like De'Aaron Fox. And I think a lot of the focus is going to be on De'Aaron Fox. And because of that, Kevin Huerter is going to get more looks. He's going to get more looks from the outside. In addition to that, in 2022, the Utah Jazz were the 5th worst team throughout the entire NBA when going against shooting guards, giving up 24.92 points per game. And that just makes Kevin Huerter look that much better. So for me, love the look at Kevin Huerter. This is a total that is around 235, so a very high total. Both teams going to be top 10 in pace, most likely on top of that. And then the Jazz are very bad against shooting guards. Then Kevin Huerter just loves playing the Jazz. So the last play of the day, the 4th pick of the day, Kevin Huerter over 12.5 points here. And that is it, y'all. We got 4 great plays. Let's try and sweep this. We got the Indiana Pacers -5. We got Bennedict Mathurin over 14.5. We got Chet Holmgren over 13.5, and Kevin Huerter over 12.5. Really weird how that worked out. Did not mean to just go up 1 with every single player, but that's it, y'all. I am Matt Walsh from SportsMemo and Wager Talk. Check me out on X's and Bros Radio this coming Friday at 8:17 a.m. And make sure to follow me at Moneyline Matt 8 or Detroit Sports Bettors on YouTube. That's it, y'all. I'm Matt Walsh. I'm out. Peace.